Let's say that when I talk to a business owner, I ask them, what's the sum total of your compensation commitment? Add up all your salaries, wages, commissions, benefits, payroll taxes. What's that going to amount to? And usually they will say, I don't know. Let me guess. And so they may come up with a number. Let's say it was $5 million. Then I ask, let's imagine you had $5 million to invest for long-term growth, and you hired an investment advisor, a wealth manager, and you said, help me invest this $5 million. Well, they would ask you a lot of questions such as, well, what are your goals? What's your risk tolerance? What's your experience level? And they would then take all of those things into consideration, and they would offer a portfolio recommendation that will help you achieve your goals with the lowest risk and hopefully the lowest cost. And so you would have that discussion, agree on a portfolio, and launch that effort. Once a business owner or a CEO begins to think about their compensation budget as an investment instead of an expense, they now begin to ask and look for the answers to the question of, well, how do I measure the return on that investment? How should I allocate my pay, just like you might allocate an investment strategy, in order to achieve the best results, to attract the people I need that will fit our demographic, our philosophy, our culture, and reward them appropriately so they'll be excited about their pay opportunity because they see how it's aligned with our business goals. So beginning that process of thinking about that compensation expense, turning it into an investment in your mind is the first place to start. And from there, new conversations open up and new solutions can be devised.
You know, I love that perspective that it's compensation aligns with your values and your brand and your culture. And it's often, I'm sure you look at it holistically, but I would imagine a lot of people just look at it as the line item and don't recognize it that way.
Yeah. And so what happens is shareholders, let's say you have shareholders who are not running the business. So and they have to generally approve in one form or another new compensation programs, new strategies that might be implemented. Something as simple as we want to add a dental plan to our benefits program. Well, what's that going to cost? Immediately, everything gets framed in the construct of what is it going to cost us? If you can begin to measure the return on compensation and have consistent ways to track it, shareholders can now engage in a discussion from that perspective. Okay, well, I see that we're getting a return on our investment now. Let's see what this will add to that return. And so what you do once you begin thinking about compensation as an investment, the next step is to draft a compensation philosophy statement. Think of it as a 1.5-page written document that expresses what we as an organization believe about pay. Why are we paying people? What do we pay for? How do we try to match up with the market or with our peers? What types of incentive plans do we offer? What is their purposes? So you capture the essence. Think of it as kind of your Declaration of Independence, your expression of our belief about pay, and it becomes a dynamic way to recruit people. So if I was offering you a job, Bryon, before we talked about the amount of pay, I'd say, here, read our pay philosophy. Let's see if we're in sync, because it reflects our culture, our beliefs, our values, and how we use pay to reward you for great